Hello everyone, welcome back to Let Us Reason podcast with your host Jawara, where we talk about life, we talk about anything, and give everyone a fair chance to express their opinions without being vulgar, disrespectful, or hostile. And today we want to talk about false prophets and so-called spiritual leaders. Beware of false prophets and so-called spiritual leaders. I know you all by now have heard about what taking place in Montego Bay last weekend. There's so many news that come out on the topic, so I'm not going to dig too deep in it. There's a lot of people are thirsty for God, thirsty to find themselves spiritually. And because of that, many people have been led astray by false prophets and so-called spiritual leaders. A lot of people set up church not to save soul or to make a difference in people's life, but to enrich themselves and to deceive people. And that's a fact. That is 100% true facts. A lot of people set up churches not to save souls or to make a difference in people's life, but to enrich themselves and to deceive people. A lot of people are victims of church brutality and pastors' brutality. People who they trust and look up to and believe would never deceive them have deceived and destroyed their lives. And that is true. Saying this don't mean every pastor and every church is like that. No. They are dedicated and devoted Christians or whatever religion a person might be of. They are dedicated people in those religions who follow lines upon lines and precepts upon precepts of their religion, and trying to make this world a better place and try to make a difference in people's life without deceiving and destroying people's life. They are dedicated people out there. I know that for a fact. They are dedicated Christian. I can call names. Pastor Cooper in Kedits Clarendon, Brother Rowe, Sister Rowe, my dad, and so many more people I know who are dedicated to their religion, who live above reproach, But the sad thing is, there are many who destroy people's life, who deceive people, proclaiming to be prophets and seers and prophetess, making false prophecies. There's never a time like now, never a time like now, where there's so much self-proclaimed prophets and prophetess. So much. The word prophet and prophetess is so loosely used by so many people who feel that they are hearing from God, and God is not talking to them. From I was a child until now, there's so many people who come up and say this gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and nothing don't happen. And a lot of people believe in them, sell out what they have, and try to be a part of their company and their congregation. And years pass, and they didn't see nothing that these people was talking about come to pass. So it's really mind-boggling to see what take place in Montego Bay last weekend. It really baffled me. And that is the honest truth. To know that we are human beings who are supposed to think critical and think logical about any topic given. Do not just listen to men teach us things, but try to find the truth for ourselves. There are so many charismatic speakers out there who know to win people with their charm Trust me. Who know to win people with their charm and deceive people with their charm by speaking charismatically. Beware of those people. Read the Bible for yourself. Find the truth for yourself. Stop letting these people lead you astray. Stop letting these people deceive you. A lot of them don't up to no good. All they preach about is money, tithe and offering, sow the seed of faith, sow the seed of that. I remember the first time when I come to the US, I used to watch a church program in Jamaica with a specific preacher. And when I come to the US, I realized where I was living, his church was close by. So I paid the church a visit one Sunday. And that was my last visit. I didn't go back because in one church service, they're collecting all different kind of money for all different kind of stuff. And then they go and live in a lavish lifestyle. The kids go to the best school, go to university. They drive the best car. They can go in any partner because they know where the money coming from every week. And they live and leech of the members of the church without having a conscience. And if a poor member of the church go to some of these people, God bless what they get. A lot of these people go to food bank and get expired food. You're not getting the good stuff that you're supposed to get. Fresh stuff. You get stuff from food bank. And that is truth. I'm telling you. What I'm saying is not lie. It's true. I've experienced these stuff. Pastors are men. They are not God. And the first thing most of them said, they are called by God. And God said this and God said that. How can a pastor, I'm talking about the one in Montego Bay now, convince so much people that the building that he have, he called it the ark. How did he convince them to borrow $100,000 each just to be a part of the ark, telling them that flood going to come, tsunami going to wipe out Florida and all type of stuff? And most of them end up paying more than $100,000 because they have to pay utility too. And they're almost starving, not getting enough to eat. How can a person convince somebody like that? Stop from believing in these people making prophecies that are not going to come to pass. And see what happened? Suppose the soldiers and the police never arrived when they arrived at that church. Everyone would die. I believe that. And the question is, how many more churches like that are out there that nobody don't know about? How many? How many? People are thirsty for God, and because they're thirsty for God and spiritually, they are being deceived. And most of them don't know it. Most of them don't know it. They say Jamaica have more church per square mile than any other church, any other countries in the world. That's what they said. Jamaica have more churches per square mile more than any other country in the world. And maybe why they say that, because Jamaica is such a small island and the amount of church on the island. But yet still people's life are not getting better. The country is not getting better, it's getting worse. The murder rate growing, poverty is growing, crime is growing. Children are being kidnapped, people going missing. But yet there's so many churches there claiming that they're serving and worshiping God. Every year they have prayer breakfast and stuff like that. And most people's lives are not being changed. But a lot of people sacrificing the little that they have kind to give pastor. It's not God getting the money, it's pastor getting the money. Alright, This church in Montego Bay now, the one that we're talking about, according to what they said, it bring in like over $1 million every week. Look, one church, it's not like a big body of church like the New Testament Church of God or Adventist or Jehovah's Witness or whatever. It's one church. And they're bringing in over $1 million Jamaican dollars every week. The bigger churches like the Adventists and the New Testament and the Prophet Church of God of Prophecies and those stuff, when they rake in all of that money, where that money go? Most of it come out of the country and go overseas. And the pastor them take some of it for themselves. Suppose all of that money that these churches was collecting was using to better people's life in Jamaica. Jamaica would be a better place. And a lot of people would live above poverty. I believe that. None of these money are taxable. But most of it is coming out of the country to go to headquarters overseas. And the people them who I give all of these money, not getting it back. That not sound crazy? That's crazy, man. People, whosoever hear this, find the truth for yourself. Study the Bible for yourself. Don't just there sit in the congregation, listen to a person telling you how to live your life. Because most of the stuff that they are telling you is not from the Bible. They're just telling you about life based upon their views. And I believe everybody should have their own views on life and live according to their views on life, not according to somebody else's views, and not according to somebody interpreting the scripture. Because most of the scripture, people should just see it as the scripture. Why they have to interpret it? To satisfy their desires and needs. I don't know if you know the story behind Jim Jones. If you Google Jim Jones, you will see a lot of story come up on Jim Jones. Not false, but true story. Jim Jones was a very popular and famous pastor and preacher back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. In the 70s, he have his congregation in California. And his congregation grew to around 20,000 people. But then a lot of stuff started to spread to the media about what he was doing to his members. A lot of them report that they was being beaten. They was forced to sell their land, their house, their property, and all different stuff and bring it to the church. He couldn't take the backlash no more, so in the 70s, he relocated to Ghana in a jungle to set up some form of utopian society. With 1,000 of his members, 1,000 people leave from America with him to a jungle in Guyana. And those people think they reach paradise and they was going to set up a free society where people can live happy and stuff. To their surprise, it was the total opposite, because those people was being treated like slaves. It also reported that I think it was a congressman or a governor, maybe one of them, maybe a congressman, I think it was, heard about that city that they created in the jungle, and he and photographers and reporters go there, and they welcomed them with an open arm and stuff. But when they was leaving and they go to the airstrip for the private airport, they were ambushed. And they were slaughtered by Jim Jones, security guard. Shortly after that, Jim Jones get punched, laced with cyanide, and kill almost all his members. 900 and odd people dead with poison, starting with the children first. And they find Jim Jones with a gunshot wound to his head. This was a pastor, a preacher talking about God and good life and Christianity and stuff like that. This was one of them. So these things can go really bad if you follow the wrong person, trust and believing in the wrong person. People, Find the truth for yourself. Be careful who you congregate with. Be careful of the congregation that you join and be a part of. Be careful. A lot of these people set up church to make money, to leech off people, to live lavish lifestyle. And then you live poor. They send their children to the best college and university. And you cannot afford to send your children to school. Meanwhile, your money sending them to the best college and universities. As I said before, there are a lot of dedicated men and women out there who are dedicated to their religion, who is trying to use it to make the world a better place and to change people's lives. A lot of them is out there like that. And there's a lot of them set up church just to leech off people, to live a lavish lifestyle, to deceive people, to molest little boys and girls, to deal with the church sister them. It's true. It's fact. Please, start finding the truth for yourself. Alright? Read the Bible for yourself. Look at life through your own spectacle, not through somebody else's. There are a lot of people out there do good stuff. And when we look at it and see that it's good, we say, yes, I would like to be able to do something like that. Nothing is wrong with that, to have a role model. But as far as to live in life, live it through your own spectacle.